So, you want to have a genius level focus. In nearly every movie and show, all the most successful people have the ability to intensely focus on one thing for a long period of time. In today's distraction-filled world, that kind of deep, undistracted concentration almost feels like a fictional superpower. But focus is actually a skill that can improve significantly with training, and it's actually pretty easy. Focus has been an ongoing battle in my 17 years learning journey to an Ivy League school, and now as I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. After thousands of hours spending on studying, memorizing, writing, and practicing, behind all that, most of the time is just me sitting in front of the desk trying to focus. I've gone through periods like my first year at Columbia University where I really struggled. I was working extra long hours and constantly overwhelmed and stressed, but I didn't even do that well in my exams. Over the years, through a combination of trials and errors, along with a bunch of readings and research on this topic, I found tips and methods that make deep focus in work and study so much easier. If you just do the following steps I'm going to talk about in this video, I promise you, you will immediately feel different. Step 1, make the brain switch easier. One big mistake that I've made and I've seen tons of people make is trying to start a very hard task right after doing something super fun. Like imagine your goal is trying to run outside for like a mile, but you're trying to do that right after you stepped out of a hot tub. And your body is going to feel this resistance. It's going to be also really, really hard for you to perform your best. And that's basically your brain is experiencing when you go from doom scrolling to studying. This is called a hedonic adaptation. It means normal activities feels less rewarding after you do something super fun. Like when you do something super rewarding, like checking your phone or playing video games, your dopamine level spikes. And afterwards, your brain adapts and lower your baselines temporarily. So what you want to do is you want to give it a buffer activity or a buffer time to help your brain returns to the baseline. If you just take 5 to 10 minutes before you're trying to go into your deep work, focus is gonna feel much easier and natural to you. It can be take a quick walk, make yourself a cup of tea, clean your desk, or meditate for a couple minutes. It's also super helpful. And also when you actually start your work, you can start with something super easy. A 2 minutes task like I'm just going to read one sentence and understand what it means. This taps into the activation energy principle. Often the hardest part is starting. Once you begin, the momentum kicks in and things got so much easier from there. So you want to switch your brain into the learning mode, and then once your brain kind of adapt and begin the process of trying to study, things will get easier. If you want to be more focused and productive, one of the things that helps me a lot is taking classes on Skillshare. I highly recommend this productivity masterclass by none other than Ali Abdel. He is a Cambridge University graduate, a former doctor, YouTuber, and entrepreneur. I've learned so much from him over the years. In this class, he talks about motivation, procrastination, and a bunch of science-backed productivity tips. Specifically for how to be more focused, we get to learn the myth of multitasking and how to get into the flow state. One of my favorite part is at the end of each lesson, there's a reflective writing exercise just to help us think about how we're doing and how to actually make a meaningful change in our productivity journey. It's just all super practical and helpful. Skillshare is an amazing platform where you can pretty much learn anything creative from art and design to photography, productivity, and more. The classes are taught by world-class creatives, so you're directly learning from the real super talented, successful professionals. And as I always say, you can't just passively learn. The best way to learn something is by actively engaging. Skillshare classes have class projects, so you get to do it to learn it. You also get great feedback from your peers and teachers. There are thousands of amazing classes, and you get to learn them whenever you want at your own pace. If you love learning new things and really want to commit to your self-growth, I highly recommend checking it out. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan this QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So go try it out for free today. Now go back to where we were left off before. And the second step is make a plan. So distraction is doing something that takes you away from what you want to do. In order to avoid the distractions, we have to know what we want to do. For example, I've had so many days like I sat down and I said, I'm going to write my YouTube script for this video. But because I don't have a super specific plan, this can mean so many things. It means that I can open my Notion and start typing. It means that I can go do research by reading more blogs or even watching other YouTube videos. And before I know it, sometimes an hour later and I'm just watching random YouTube videos. When we don't have a clear active task, our brain shift into default mode network. And for lots of people, our default mode is to go on our phone, which is not very ideal. But if you have a constrained action, then your brain activates the task positive network, which is the system that's responsible for focus and goal-directed activity. So the more specific the task, the easier to focus. Also, if you don't have a plan beforehand, your brain kind of need to make a bunch of decisions. Do I go look at the textbook or do I go work on my questions? Then your brain will experiencing something called the decision fatigue, which kills focus. So here are a couple quick tips on how to make clear plan. Use action verbs. Like instead of just say, I will work on my essay, say, I will write the intro paragraph, or I will fix 2 sentences from yesterday. And have a timer, and during this specific time, you will only do the thing that you planned. And 3, name all your distractions in advance. Give yourself the constraint that if I go on YouTube, that's a distraction. If I look at my email, that's a distraction. If I check my message, that's a distraction. In this time frame, only constrain yourself to do that one specific action that you named. Use my writing script example. Now I will have multiple different sections. During writing sections, I will only pull up my Notion page and type. I will not do anything else. I will not do research. If I have a question, I will write it down. I will deal with that later. Step 3, make the work easier or more fun. Here's the truth. We don't struggle to focus on things that are super easy and fun. So it's not our ability to focus is broken. We just struggle with things that are super hard or boring. Simply trying to avoid doing super hard things or avoid the feeling of boredom, it's supernatural. It doesn't mean your brain is ruined. While the solution for that is actually super easy. If your task is too hard, make it easier. If your task is too boring, make it more fun. There is a sweet spot that it's not super hard, it's not super easy, just a little bit more challenging so we keep you engaged. That's how all the video games designed, and we can do the same with studying. Tip number 1, break it down to micro steps. Instead of just say, write an essay, break it down into write 1 sentence of the intro, outline 3 points, etc. Psychologically, small tasks reduce overwhelm and build momentum. This works because of a cognitive load theory. Our brains can only hold a few things at the same time. Also, you can use the example first approach. I do this all the time. If a problem or the concept is super confusing, instead of just trying to figure it out, go look at a worked example or a video explanation. Understand why each step works before trying yourself. Same for writing an essay. If you have no idea how to even start, go read a couple similar essays that are in this niche. Tip 3, just ask for help. You're not supposed to figure everything out just by yourself. According to research, we actually learn the best when we're just a little bit outside of our comfort zone with help. And when work feels too boring, I actually learned this from Ali Abdel's videos. He talked about this one question that is super simple, but I think really, really powerful, which is by asking the question, what would this look like if it's fun? I think it's really a mindset shift when you just ask this question. I feel like I jump outside of the situation of being bored and think about why am I doing this in the first place. There must be a way to make this more fun. If I don't like studying, this will be fun if I go study with my friends, study in a coffee shop. Also, if you're learning something, please use active learning instead of passive learning. Instead of just reading, close your notes, try to summarize what's going on, try to explain what you just learned. This is one of the most powerful study techniques. And step 4, if you have done all the first 3 steps I talked about and you still sit down trying to focus, but you can't. You just have this weird feelings. That might be attentional anxiety. Means something is bothering you in the background. Like maybe you're stressed out about tomorrow's physics exam while you're trying to studying for math. Or maybe you saw a message that you really want to get back to it. All of those are super valid. And one of the best way to handle this is offload it. Do a 10 minutes brain dump. Like grab a journal or just piece of paper and write everything that's on your mind. It doesn't have to be deep or organized. Just get it out from your brain to the paper. In cognitive behavior therapy, they found that externalizing intrusive thoughts can reduce anxiety and improve concentration. You're telling your brain that you're not ignoring it, you're writing it down, and you will deal with it. But also, you're still worrying about it, you can make a small follow-up plan. For example, you write you want to respond to your friend's message. Just write, I will do that after dinner. So your brain relaxes more and know that you have created an actionable plan to follow up on those tasks. Also, try to avoid switching tasks as much as possible. This is a researched phenomenon called attention residue. It happens when your brain switched from one task to another. Like let's say you're trying to write your essay and then you just quickly check your email. Even that's just a 30-second peek, your brain switched quickly to that task. And research shows that kind of task switching lowers your performance for 15 to 30 minutes. So when you're on a break, take a real break. Also, try not to go on your phone. Do something that can actually make your brain rest, like meditate, stretch, just even looking far away. And if you want to get more focused, try to do all the most mental demanding, super hard tasks in the morning. So I don't think our brain is broken. It's just this society and all the technology that have bombarded our brain with information. I really, really do think if you tried all those steps before your studying session, before your working session, you will see a difference. I hope it's helpful. If you tried it out, leave a comment and let me know how it goes. Check out Skillshare. They have so many quality and fun courses. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.